Hey guys, this is Reese. Today is March 24th, 2015, and it is my 1 month on testosterone. So today I did my 5th shot just a couple hours ago, which is awesome. I'm super stoked about it. I'm only 1 month in, so not a whole lot of physical changes to report. Um, my voice, I think, has gone down a little bit, at least that's what people are saying. Um, I am noticing that I am passing a lot more. Like just when I go out, like to the store or the gas station or whatever, I'm getting sir a lot more than I did in the past. But I don't really feel like that's due to anything physical. It's probably just in the way that like I'm carrying myself. Like I carry myself a little bit different now. I'm just like a little bit more confident in whatever because I just feel better. But other than that, not a whole lot of changes to report, which is actually why I wanted to make this video. So I found when I was looking to start T and kind of get the process going, I had followed a lot of guys' transitions on like blogs and YouTube videos and whatever form that may be. And a lot of the focus is set on the physical changes after they start testosterone. But not as much of the focus, I think, lays in the pre-T stuff. Like how do you get on testosterone? What does that process look like? How long does it take? What's required? All of that kind of thing. When I started going through the process myself, luckily I had a couple of trans guys locally that I was able to reach out to, and they provided me like some references and answered some of my questions, stuff like that, which was really cool, but not everybody has that. So for this first video, really what I wanted to focus on is what that process looks like for me, how I went about getting on testosterone, and all of that type of thing. Now, disclaimer before I get into any of this, I can obviously only speak from my own personal experience, and anyone else's experience will change as well based on your location. Every area is going to have different regulations and different processes that you can go through, but I just wanted to kind of outline at least what mine has looked like so you can get an idea. So some states out there follow what's called an informed consent process, where basically you can go into a clinic and sign some paperwork saying that you understand what testosterone will do, what the risks are, etc., and they'll be able to give you testosterone. Where I live, which is Utah, that is not an option. We don't have any of those types of processes. So for me, where I started was actually going to a therapist. The therapist that I started going to actually specializes in, I want to say like PTSD or something, but has worked with a lot of members of the transgender community. I think, in fact, she used to run like a support group for trans people at the Pride Center, something like that. So she's really well known within the community. So I started by actually going to see her. I went to see her for about 6 to 8 weeks, really enough time for her to get to know me, get to know like my mental state and my goals and all of that type of thing, before she gave me a letter of recommendation to start testosterone. Initially, I was really upset that we didn't have any type of informed consent because I just wanted to get the process going. I felt like I was educated enough on what it would do that I didn't want to have to go through the whole ringer. But looking back, I'm actually really glad that I ended up starting by going to a therapist, just because I had a lot of anxieties and whatnot that I was able to work through before starting testosterone, which was really, really beneficial for me. She also helped kind of facilitate the coming out process to the scarier ends, in my opinion, which is like my parents, my work, that type of thing. So she helped me through that process as well. Again, which was really, really helpful. So glad that I ended up going that route initially. Once I got my letter of recommendation from my therapist, she referred me to a local OBGYN that works with transgender individuals. So I set up an appointment, went in, and it almost seemed like a letter of recommendation or whatever wasn't necessarily required. They didn't ask for it until like right at the end of the appointment, or I think I even brought it up. So they put it on file. It'll help with the process later on, just so there's no doubt that I am able to go through the medical side of things or whatnot. But basically, I went into the appointment, signed a bunch of documentation talking about risks and all of that, went over all of that with my doctor, and then they gave me a prescription for testosterone. So I just went to like my local pharmacy, filled my prescription, got like syringes and needles and whatnot, and learned how to do my shot that day, and I've been doing them ever since, which is actually kind of a big deal for me because I'm really not great with needles, and so that's been fun to learn, but I'm actually getting better at it as it goes, it seems like, so that's cool. So, like I said, I was pretty lucky when it came to getting references on individuals of who to start with. One website that I did find that is actually really killer the website basically stacks lists of doctors, healthcare professionals, mental health care professionals, whatever that is, by state, and these are all people that work with transgender individuals. The website itself is updated really frequently, and it also goes based on recommendation of people in the community. So that's a really solid resource. I'm going to post that in the description or whatever below this, just so anyone else has that resource, because I found that is really cool. Even I think my doctor is listed on it in the Utah section, so really reliable as far as that goes. I guess that's really kind of all I had for this first video, pretty quick. Like I said, really just wanted to kind of talk about what my processes look like as far as getting on testosterone. I'll probably end up making a handful of videos as I go throughout my transition, just so I can help document it and whatever. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send them to me. I'll post my Tumblr URL below as well. Feel free to send me a message or whatever. Thanks, guys.